Hey, welcome to Playing for Keeps, the show where we take a deep dive into emotional intelligence, sex, love, adult attachment theory, mental health, therapy, and everything in between that creates great relationships. Your host, DJ, is a certified life coach and emotional intelligence practitioner. She's here to be of service to all the listeners interested in love and relationship. Now, here's your host, DJ.
Hello, everyone. This is your girl DJ with Playing for Keeps podcast. And today we have a special guest. We have Gull. She is an author, international speaker, podcaster, a barista, an attorney, and a solicitor, an intuitive life coach, an EFT expert, an energy healer, and a money mindset expert, as well as a mother. Gull is a former banking and finance lawyer who left her corporate job to pursue her passion and become a money mindset expert and healer. She helps entrepreneurs break free from their limiting beliefs about money so that they can live a life of unlimited abundance. Gull successfully overcame her battle with dyslexia and then completed her law degree at Queen Mary University of London. She then went on to become a barrister with Middle Temple, UK, attorney with the New York Bar, and a fully qualified solicitor with the Law Society of England and Wales in the UK. As a lawyer, she has worked for some of the top international law firms such as Arp, Slate, Megger and Flom, and Herbert Smith, as well as international companies such as Shell Inc. Gull is a trained intuitive life coach and a certified emotional freedom technique EFT expert with a special focus on money in each discipline. Gull has helped hundreds of men and women to heal their money stories and to manifest between $2,000 to $830,000 within 8 weeks. Wow. Gull lives with her 2 children, 2 cats in London, and has 2 passions, money and Bollywood. She is here today to speak on how feeling sexy can help you become a money magnet. Hey, Gull, how are you today?
Hi, DJ. I'm super psyched to be here talking to you and your audience. It's actually evening in around here in London, but it's afternoon for you. So
yeah, the time difference is crazy. It's just amazing what technology can do. Okay, so you are here to speak on just how feeling sexy can help you become a money magnet. Why don't you just tell us just a little bit about yourself and how you became just all the titles that you have today?
So very quickly, I'm a money mindset expert. And as a money mindset expert, I help entrepreneurs to break free from the limiting beliefs, to reverse their money shame, and to blast through the money blocks so that they can live a life of unlimited abundance. And my journey from being a barrister to all the way to becoming an energy healer and then actually focusing primarily on money and money stories has been a long one. It's been 20 years in the making. Pretty much when I found out, I was assessed to be dyslexic at the age of 18, 19, first year of university. And then by then I already had this amazing grades. And actually, once I found out, so I'm going to cut the story very short. Once I found out I was dyslexic, it put me on the path of, working out why it was that even though I was severely dyslexic, not just dyslexic, severely dyslexic. First, I nobody found that out early on. And that was a blessing in disguise because it prevented me from having that dyslexia label early on. Right. And I carried on studying and that's all I knew how. I got very high grades and I worked really hard, but that's all I knew. I didn't know any better. So why is that someone like me who wasn't supposed to get the grades did? And I was on top of my class and I have achieved all this, but why? And then I come from a council estate. I was growing up in a council estate. It's not like I was born into, well, actually my father didn't have a lot of money, but my parents separated. Mm-hmm. So my mom, she worked in factories. I grew up in council estate. I didn't have any external support. I went to a state school, which actually ignored me. That's probably the reason why my dyslexia wasn't picked up early enough. Yet here I was, and I was doing a law degree at University of London, a very prestigious university with really high grades, and I was on top of my class. So I went down the path of personal development, psychology of success, primarily just to push myself and to develop further. And, that's the kind of aspirations I had. I was very ambitious, self-starter. And this 20-year journey, I would say, led me down a path. It took me down a rabbit hole, DJ. And, one thing led to another, one mentor led to another. And then I came across, I had psychic gifts, which I wasn't familiar with. I thought I was just crazy. I was just seeing things.
Wow.
And when I took intuitive life coaching, that's when I found out that the things I was seeing, I was actually not crazy. They were real. And other people could validate the fact that I was seeing them. They did exist. I could see across dimensions. I could manipulate energy. I could work with energy. And my intuition was really sharp. I could hear different entities and beings and communicate across dimensions and astral travel and all of the good stuff, which as a lawyer just would have baffled me and think, I would go crazy. So I went a different route, and I was able to do this because I had taken a break from my legal profession. I was a stay-at-home mom looking after my 2 children at the time. And that's when I really focused on my intuitive gifts. And the further I went down the rabbit hole around this energy, alternative healing, energy work, and, especially opening up my intuitive gifts, the further I realized how much or how little we actually knew about our physical world, and especially the non-physical.
Oh,
and
yes.
I realized I'm a very, very powerful energy healer. But even then, it wasn't my intention to take this on as professionally. My intention was, when my youngest child was old enough to go to high school, I'd go back to law. That was the plan. Mm-hmm. I kept on training, kept on practicing. I even became a telephone psychic for a little while, just to prove, just to practice my gifts. Wow. I'm on one of those sites. And I literally kept going down that rabbit hole deeper and deeper and exploring myself further and further. And when it came time for me to actually return to work, when I separated with my partner, I won't give you the details, that's a long story, but I found that he was cheating on me. So that was the end of the marriage. So I was going to go down the divorce route. He pulled the financial card, and because he didn't want me to divorce him. He didn't want me to leave him. He actually wanted to keep me and his girlfriend, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So because of that, I had no choice but to return to work. Now, at that point, I was faced with the idea of returning to work after 10 years break. So I had to start from scratch anyway. And also with that, I was very familiar with the kind of lifestyle that a banking finance lawyer had. Doing any other job didn't appeal to me. I couldn't imagine myself becoming a family lawyer or doing criminal or anything like that. Like local work just didn't appeal to me. And obviously the kind of money I would make from there wouldn't support my lifestyle anyway. Okay. And so corporate law was where I was looking to return to. However, taking a 10-year break and moving forward. And it also, I was now a different person, because I had opened up my gifts, because I had explored this, and because I had embraced this side of me. So that's when I took the plunge and decided to know I'm not going to go down the law route. Even though I am qualified in 3 jurisdictions, I'm going to use that to, use the skills obtained from that to build a successful business around my intuitive gifts. And that's exactly what I did. And then as a healer, I could do anything. I could focus on relationships. I could focus on health. But what I found, DJ, was when you fix people's money stories, you fix everything else about them. Because by the time you fix their money stories, you have had to work through all the old emotional trauma. And this is why my work is so different compared to most other NLP or other practitioners out there, or the other so-called money people out there, because I don't focus on your money. I focus on your emotional well-being and emotional traumas. So we've gone through your earliest money paradigm. We've gone through how, any experiences, any financial trauma, any gold trauma, any other kind of traumas you've been through, especially at a young age. Mm-hmm. When I found that when I was working at money, the end goal being working on money, but I was working on everything else before that, money became a byproduct. It's something that comes along naturally, but all other areas of your life were fixed. And that's why I became so focused on helping people with the money stories.
Got you. Yeah, that is true, because I know our ideas of money are tied to our past experiences.
Yes.
In your story, what did it for you? Like, what made you really push? Like, was there a certain event that made you really decide to take this leap instead of going back into, the career of law, or was it just everything in a whole, like what you just explained?
It was literally the culmination of everything that happened. And I was at crossroads. I could take the leap of faith and go down a path not well known, especially not to me. Until then, I tried multiple businesses before that. I had failed miserably. I mean, DJ, I failed miserably, all right? And so I was thinking, oh my God, nothing I've tried so far has ever worked. Nothing. We even tried to set up a care home, and we lost £100,000 in that. That's equivalent to almost $200,000 at the time.
Wow.
The rates growth has dropped a lot, but at that time it was about $2 to a pound, so almost $200,000 in setting up this business. But I was adamant that I wanted to fix people's money stories, and I wanted to change people's attitudes and beliefs around money. And I call myself, I am an advocate. I mean, I'm trained to be an advocate, and I actually became an advocate for money, and that's what I am. Now, every aspect that you can think of, I talk about it from the point of view of becoming friends with money and changing your attitudes and beliefs and ideas around money. So pretty much I can call myself money mindset expert or money advocate.
Gotcha. Okay. Tell me, how do you help your clients manifest the kind of money, like you said, between 2,000 and 830,000 within 8 weeks? Do you have a program that's 8 weeks long? How do you approach helping them with money with your EFT experience and your money mindset coaching? What techniques do you use, or what can you say that you do?
Great question, DJ. So
Yes.
I am trained in NLP and Reiki, and actually not Reiki. Reiki just came natural to me because I have healing hands. But I am trained in EFT and intuitive life coaching and NLP. Yet the only modality that I use, so I use NLP concepts and the way to communicate to my clients and to people. I use NLP tools and techniques to be able to explain what I'm doing. But the tool that I use to shift everyone's energy is pretty much my energy tools, which are unique to me. So I have trained and learned different energy modalities, and I've come up with my own, which is when you go through one of my energy clearings, it sounds really bizarre because I'm speaking at supersonic speed. It just sounds so bizarre. But when you experience it, you understand, because you have this massive, massive energy shift. And even though I'm speaking literally 100 miles per hour speed, people fall asleep, because what happens is when you have such an intense energy experience, sometimes your conscious mind cannot cope with it. So your subconscious mind puts your conscious mind to sleep to get a deeper clearing.
Right.
And when people experience it, they realize, oh my God, I actually fell asleep, which is illogical because I'm speaking at really high velocity, a really, really, really sometimes high pitched voice. But what I'm doing is actually shifting your energy. And I'm using the power of words and the energy of words and my modality, my throat, my voice, everything combined together becomes, and the speed at which I speak becomes part of the modality. And this is what I use. So it's very unique to me, but it's very, very powerful. And I think the only way that you will ever understand how this works is when you experience one of my energy clearings, which I openly do. I've done them in my Money Mindset with Gull Facebook group. You can find them there. Or I run these challenges every 3-4 times during the year. And on day 5 of the 5-day challenge, I do a live energy clearing. So people get to experience what my energy clearing really is. There's no secret about it. But unless you experience it, you can't understand it. Does that make sense, my love?
No, that does make sense. That makes plenty of sense. And with just some of the things that I know, just about energy clearing and stuff, that makes sense to me. Like you said, I know for people who don't know anything about it, they would need to kind of experience it themselves or do research. Like I've done research. I've never actually had the real experience. That's something I think I would want. I actually, if I could find time, I actually would like to study things like Reiki and different things, because it's so fascinating to me. So it makes sense to me that the subjects and the things that you do are very fascinating to me, and I know they are life-changing.
Yep, they are. And the question you asked, how do I help? So I don't have 8-week program anymore. It used to be the predecessor to my mastermind used to be an 8-week boot camp. But what I found with that was, even though I got amazing results for some people, it wasn't enough period of time to get the full transformation work done. And that's why that boot camp evolved into a full 12-month long mastermind. And that's what we're carrying around at the moment. But I do get results within 2 weeks with them. And last time somebody signed up with me in April, and within 2 weeks, he manifested his ideal car. And,
Wow.
and then somebody else, one of the people that I can talk about recently is someone from the Philippines. And the average wage, we put this in context, the average wage for someone in the Philippines is $200 a month. So this lady, she signed up with me, and her husband had multiple businesses, but she didn't have any business of her own. So her name is Skeeter, and I share her story on my Facebook page and on my profile as well. And she said to me that she wanted to set up her own business and have her own money. So when she started with me, she was getting $2,000 allowance from her husband for the month, which is quite a lot for Philippines anyway, because it's quite a large amount.
Yeah.
Within 2 months of working with me, she had set up her own online business and was making 5 figures on a monthly basis. Now,
Wow.
but this is a story that's unique to her. And she did it. She was, because she had all the talent and abilities, and she'd been working with her husband in his business for for so long. She had the experience, she had the know-how. It was just her blocks stopping her from doing it. So when we removed those blocks, she literally just exploded. And then she also set up a second business, which was amazing, because she started working with food in the beginning, I think towards the end of 2019, and by beginning of January 2020, this January, she set up a separate business with food in the food industry. Corona pandemic, at one point she was making $2,000 a day. It was crazy.
Wow.
But it was because I can't say that I helped her with business. I'm not a business coach, and I refuse to give business advice. But she had the business know-how. She'd been working with her husband for all these years. She didn't have the confidence, and her own money blocks prevented her from having a successful business herself, because she tried before and she just didn't succeed. Yet when she came with me, all I did was remove her blocks, through my mastermind, the modules, and we did the manifestation calls. And next thing you know, her business is exploding, and she's got, she's one of my biggest case studies now. And that was within a few months.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Okay, let me ask you this. So the topic, how feeling sexy can help you become a money magnet. Let's talk a little bit about that. And why you feel that way, and just get into details about that.
Brilliant. I love that question. And this is a topic that very few people even think about, let alone talk about. So what's behind this aspect of, feeling good or feeling sexy? When you feel sexy, DJ, you feel really good about yourself. Okay? And it's a different vibration. So when you look in the mirror and you think you look pretty, it's a different vibration. When you look in the mirror and you think you look hot, you look sexy, it's a different vibration. The confidence, the energy that you hold in your body, regardless of the size, your color, your height, your body weight, your whatever. It's when you feel sexy, you're holding a particular type of energy. Okay. And this is what we're after. Now, I talk about something called self-worth and self-esteem. And unfortunately, most people have issues with self-worth. Now, one of the easiest way to increase your self-worth is when you feel good about yourself. Okay. And the easiest way and the best way to feel good about yourself is when you look in the mirror, when you put something on. And you know what? You don't have to wear on a bikini or a low-cut dress or high heels to feel sexy. Sexy is a very subjective feeling. Somebody can wear earrings and feel sexy. Somebody can wear a bandana and feel sexy. Somebody can have a watch and feel sexy. Somebody else could be fully dressed and wear, just this lip color and this thing. Oh, I look very sexy. I've seen plenty of women who wear the hijab, who are fully dressed, have this amazing, like makeup on, and all you can see is their face. And I know for a fact that they feel very attractive. They feel very sexy, right? They're not just out of the body. So feeling sexy is a very subjective feeling. But what it does is it heightens your vibration. So if I take a step back and think, okay, what are the 3 core principles of law of attraction? Principle number 1, that everything is energy. Okay, that includes you, that includes your voice, that includes your hair, that includes your things you can see and things you cannot see. So seen or unseen and everything between, everything is energy. Quantum physics teaches us that, and we haven't got time to go into the details for that, but that's what it is, right? It's everything at its core, energy. And that includes money. This principle number 2 is, if everything's energy, that means everything's vibrating at a particular frequency, right? So includes money. Now, that leads us into principle number 3, that if everything's vibrating a particular frequency, it also means that you attract to you whatever you are in harmony with on that particular frequency. The law of resonance teaches us that, right? It's a physics law. You can't deny it, which means if you can raise your vibration high enough and connect it and sort of align it with feeling good and amazing and wonderful and happy and joyous, the kind of frequency the money resides at, you'll be able to attract money. Now, the more money you attract, the more energy you're able to hold in, and the better you feel about yourself, the more your self-worth improves. Guess what? It becomes a spiral upwards rather than spiral downwards. And people who become self-made millionaires, it doesn't matter if they look like geeks or what you think of, how they look. Your opinion about them is not important. It's how they feel about themselves. That's important. Right? So somebody, I know this one, I'm not going to say his name, he's a very young lad, but he's he's earned 7 figures, and he does a lot of YouTube ads and whatever, and we see him often. He's a geeky young lad, but I can tell the way he holds himself, the way the way he speaks. I mean, he thinks he feels he's very attractive and he's very sexy. Why shouldn't he? Right? So it's his opinion. It's his opinion that matters. So when you sit back and think, okay, well, I look in the magazines and I should look like X, Y, and Z. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in what can you do right now? And how can you connect to your body right now that makes you feel sexy? Because when you feel that emotion, when you feel like I'm attractive, oh my gosh, I'm so beautiful, I'm so sexy, you attract to you the opposite sex. But not only that, you attract to yourself all the good vibrational money and all the good things that are on that vibration. So you attract attention from people, people, it could be men and women both, remember? At the same, you're attracting other good things, and this includes money. Why wouldn't it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that does make sense. Kind of sense, because when you do feel sexy, you feel great about yourself. And when you feel great about yourself, that energy you just exude. It just like you are what you attract. So if you feel horrible and you don't feel sexy, or you just feel a mess, then that's just what you're going to feel. And that's kind of what's going to attract to you. Sometimes they say, like, when you start your day off right, or you start your day off in a good mood, you usually will end your day in a good mood, because things will come to you that are of good. But if you are grumpy all day and you're grumpy, your energy is grumpy, that's people probably are going to be grumpy towards you, or you're not going to be happy with things at work and all of that stuff. So no, when you connect the dots in that way, I think anybody could understand what you're saying. So let me ask you this. How would you teach somebody to raise their frequency, or to feel more sexy, so they can attract more in life? Money, women, men, whatever they want to attract.
Brilliant question. Now, the problem with most people is, DJ, we are living in our heads and we're not in our physical bodies. And this is especially true of those who are natural born empaths and, intuitives, and even those who are not even familiar with the ideas of what does an intuitive mean, what does an empath mean. They naturally reside in the head and they don't exactly feel into the body. In order for you to feel sexy, you have to understand and feel into your body. So I recommend a number of, I'm not a sexual health expert, not far from it, but I understand the energy, a vibrational energy of feeling sexy. So I recommend activities which reconnect you with your body, like yoga. Okay, yoga is one of the easiest way to reconnect to your physical body, stretch, and also allow, especially when doing mindful breathing and you're connecting to your physical body, that helps you to feel sexy. And actually there was a study done in one of the magazines, I can't remember the name now, where they found the women who did yoga felt more sexy. Okay? Another one is just general exercise. So when you exercise, you're releasing endorphins. Okay? And when you're releasing endorphins, you're feeling good about, guess what? Your body, regardless of its size. So you may be sweating, you may feel, like sweaty, icky, whatever, but you still think, I look hot. Okay? And that's another point. One of the easiest ones, I think, one of my favorite ones, is dancing. Again, guess what you're doing? You're moving around. And when you're moving around, you're actually being present in your physical body. So when you dance, especially people who love dancing, that's the easiest way to feel sexy. Another tip is, it's a cliche, running a hot bath and just sitting in there and relaxing. Well, that's not just for women, that's for men also. Okay. That's one of probably the easiest way, because normally we don't even pay attention to our bodies. We have it fully covered. We just get dressed. We don't touch ourselves. We don't feel ourselves. We don't feel the physical self.
True.
I'm not saying to do self pleasure. That's another conversation for somebody else. I'm saying just being physically aware of your body, your arms, your stomach, your legs, just physically feeling your physical body and seeing what a magnificent thing you have called your body. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you this. I think one thing that's helped me just be more present with myself was even meditation. Like say if I'm feeling anxious or something, I would try to feel where I'm feeling that feeling. Do you think meditation could be something that would help as well as far as being more present with your body and being more aware of your feelings and why you feel certain feelings?
I mean, absolutely. Meditation, it helps with every aspect of your body. But I think combining meditation with yoga would be the best way. So when you do meditation, you really begin to be present in your physical body.
Okay.
That could help. That could definitely help. But when you combine mindfulness with yoga, doing slow stretches and actually doing breathing and being mindful of it, that can help you to actually create the energy of sexiness in your body and hold the energy of sexiness. And one of the easiest one is looking in the body and looking at your body in the mirror and just admiring your.
And that's so hard for people to do. You know
Yeah,
that,
I
right?
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
so
hardest
hard.
thing. That's one of the reasons why I want on my 5-day challenges, one of the tasks I set is giving yourself love. And it's not about telling yourself how sexy you are, but it's baby steps. You start and you look in the mirror and you actually look in yourself, you look in your heart, and there's a process that take you through when you reconnect to your heart and you reconnect to your soul. And then you actually give yourself love, which is always say is I love you, I love you, I love you. And people cry and people find that really,
Yeah.
but they get amazing breakthroughs with that, because guess what? For the first time in God knows how many, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60 years, you're actually looking at yourself and you're giving yourself unconditional love, which you automatically give to your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your child, and pet, but not to yourself.
True. It's very true. Wow, that is some powerful stuff. Okay, let me ask you this. What would you say is the hardest lesson you had to learn while, being in relationships? And then how do you apply that today?
One of the hardest lessons I learned, and this goes with my ex relationship, I've had 2 failed marriages. When I was pleasing everybody else. So I had an arranged marriage with my first marriage, and I bent over backwards to make that one work. And I thought, I kept giving it time, like we know, because we had arranged marriage, we didn't love each other, we need to get to know each other, etc., etc. And that became abusive, physically abusive, and that went down the drain. In the second marriage, I even worked even harder because it's my second marriage, and I was holding up the day life, and I let go of me. I forgot who Gull was, and I believed in all the lies. I believed in all the BS. I believed in all of the rubbish that I'm too educated, I'm too stubborn, I don't respect him, etc., etc. The lesson I learned is be very truthful to yourself, be very honest with yourself, and if somebody cannot accept you for exactly who you are, then accept that. Don't try to change yourself to be accepted. Be your true, authentic self. And that includes not just your partner, everybody else for that matter. I'm an intuitive and I'm very open about it. I ought to openly talk about my gifts, the fact that I am, I can see cross dimensions, I can see things. If somebody wants to think that that's weird and that's absurd and I'm a nut job, that's their opinion. I don't doubt myself. I don't doubt my ability. And I don't belittle myself based on other people's opinions no more. I'm me. I love me. You accept it or you don't. That's your choice.
Love that. I had to learn that lesson too. And that's a lesson I'm actually still in the middle of learning myself. So yeah, that is a lesson that a lot of people still need to learn. So let me ask you these questions here. It's we're going a little bit off topic here. So say if you were going out on a date, name 3 places you would want to go out on a date.
Okay, so 3 places. I love water. I'm a water baby, even though I get seasick very quickly. It's a paradox. I don't know, but I love water. I love being near the beach, or even on a yacht, on a boat, as long as
Okay.
it's sailing. Because, like I said, I'm seasick. But somewhere near the water. So that's my first choice. I love water. Second one is I love nature. And I look like a very extrovert, fun party kind of girl. I'm actually the opposite. I like peace and quiet. I like being connecting with nature. I like sitting there quietly, not talking. As absurd as that sounds, if you meet me in person, I'm talking 100 miles per hour and probably talking for hours on end. But there's a part of me when, if I was on a date and I'm connecting with someone, I would want to have a deep, meaningful conversations. So I would want to be on somewhere far away, in nature somewhere, and just looking at nature. Just doesn't have to have too much either. Just trees, grass, and the horizon, and I'm happy. I'm happy. And the third one is animals. I absolutely adore animals. So going to maybe, I don't like zoos, but like safari or some place like that, like a jungle.
Okay.
That's what I would do because I love animals.
Okay, awesome. So, name three places you would love to travel to, two with a partner, and then one by yourself.
So that's easy because I've kept one place that I've kept and I haven't traveled because I've not met my partner yet, my idol, my soulmate. And that is Taj Mahal in India. I think that's a symbol of love, and I would love to go and view that with my soulmate. Another place is Venice. Again, I've been all over Europe and I've avoided Venice as much as possible because I want to go there with my ideal partner.
Okay.
And another place, say two, which, what else? Three
And
places
one by yourself. Yeah, one by yourself.
by myself. I suppose I really want to go on a safari. I really want to go to Africa. I want to go and explore and reconnect to Mother Earth. And I want to connect to, I'm not very much a desert person, so I want to see how far I can push myself.
Okay.
I go and sort of, go and see the elephants and the lions and yeah, something like that, which is not in my comfort zone. I don't like camping. I don't like going out, but I want to reconnect with Mother Earth. So yeah, and I have this calling to go to Africa. I've had it for some time. I just haven't had the opportunity to go.
Got you. Okay. Last question. Do you have maybe a special first romantic memory, like a summer sweet memory of like maybe a first kiss or a first love letter or anything like that you don't mind sharing with the audience?
Yeah, sure. So my very first kiss, I had I was a bookworm, so I didn't date, I didn't do anything forever. But my very first kiss came from somebody when I was 21, I think 21. Yes, I was 21 years old. That's when I had my first kiss. Can you imagine? And it was with a gentleman. Well, he was a gentleman then. He was a guy then, but he's a now gentleman. And yeah, he was French, and I'm English, obviously. And yeah, that's the sweet memory that I have. And it was actually in Leiden during so part of my degree, I went to Leiden University. And this is where he was in my same dorm, and we sort of leaned over and he sort of kissed. And I'm like, oh my God, that's my first kiss. So that's the sweet memory that I have. And he was the most gorgeous, good looking guy ever, drop dead gorgeous, still is, of course. And yep, he would be my first guy that I kissed. Or he kissed.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. What projects do you have now? Do you have any new projects you're working on, or what projects do you have going?
So my pet project that I'm actually focusing everything on is my podcast. So I have a podcast called Money Mindset with Gull, and that's what I'm working on. And that is where I believe that I can reach as many people as possible. We do run ads and we do try to reach as many people as possible with my challenges, but I think the content I have, can reach a lot further through my podcast. So that's my baby. That's what I'm focusing on at the moment.
Agreed. Awesome. Okay. Now, could you share with the audience where they can find you?
Absolutely. So you can find me on my website, which is www.gullkhan.com, or my podcast site, which is moneymindsetwithgullkhan.com. And you can find me on Instagram, which is Money Mindset with Gull Khan, LinkedIn, Money Mindset with Gull Khan, Pinterest is Money Mindset with Gull Khan, and you can find me on we have a Facebook group as well called Money Mindset with Gull Khan. My Facebook page is The Gull Khan.
Okay, awesome. And all of that will also be in the show notes. I want to thank you, Gull, for coming on. It was such a pleasure. And until next time, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. If you liked this podcast, please download and subscribe. If there's anything you would like to talk about in regards to relationships, or would like to be a guest on the show to speak on relationships or get advice, you can always connect via social media at Playing for Keeps or email DJ at info@p4kdating.com. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.